And welcome back. Today we're flying out the BF-109F-1, one of the lower tier monsters, but it does teach you a lot of things about prop combat. You do need to be a little bit more trigger disciplined than normal because we only have 60 rounds in the 20mm right now. Fortunately for us, it hits pretty hard. It has the same shells as the MG151, so they do a decent amount of damage. Your main thing will be your turn rate, your energy retention, quote unquote your speed. It's not the fastest, but at 2.7 this thing is no slouch either. So you want to use your energy, you want to use your altitude advantage at the start of the game. I will show you plenty of that in this video. And in the background, random squad with Botcha. If you don't know him, he's one of the best duelists in the game. And he's flying one of the worst planes in the game, and he's still going to get some kills in the background. So here we are going head on with a Yak 1. And I don't really want to take the head on. I'm not going to shoot at him, I'm just going to be dodging him. So I put my plane into a little bit of a dive to pick up some extra speed, so it makes it harder for him to hit me in the head on. He's turning in, waiting for it to roll, and then I'm gonna pull up over him, dodge his guns completely, and at this kind of altitude versus a Yak 1, he is not gonna be doing very well. The BF-109F-1 still turns decently well, and the only reason I say decently is because at low tier you have some really UFO level turn planes, like the Spitfires, like the I-16s, like biplanes. It turns well in its own right, but of course you have to look at the competition. Here's the first burst. Don't miss the second, and that's going to be kill number 1. Botcha in the meantime got 2 in his 835. I don't know how he did it, but I want to fly over there and support him if I can. He's dragging 2 guys down, which is exactly what you should do in a bad plane if you get people on your 6. That maneuver right there helped me out a ton. Now the P-39 isn't that high anymore, and because it's the Russian P-39, and I see in the kill feed now it's the P-39N, that's a plane I don't really want to deal with. The P-39N is one of the most broken planes in the game, and at low altitude that thing is an absolute monster. So him being below me means that I have somewhat of an advantage that I can actually use, but you'll see some of that later on. Not gonna stick on this fight. MiG-3 isn't really a priority target. The only reason I went for him there was because he was low and slow, looked to be not paying attention. He clearly was, so I just break off, keep my altitude, and engage something else that actually, well, needs to be engaged. There's a little bit of a furball going on over there, and there's 2 I-16s and an I-153. And none of these planes really scare me, but they are very annoying if you're already dealing with someone else. So I kind of want to kill these guys now that they are together, because when there's a lot of I-16s around, I don't really mind, but when it's an I-16 and a P-39N, I don't want to deal with that. So we're diving in. I-16, the first one is going pretty slow, he can't really dodge that, shoot a few rounds, blow him out of the air. I-153, same story, he doesn't even see me, hit him once, blow him up, and we're gonna pull out, go vertical, go a little bit more aggressive here, because I want this Spitfire to die right here, considering he's so slow. He's flying right in front of me, just tap fire until I hit him. When we finally do, it's gonna be kill number 4. And now, we clean this up over here a little bit, looking around. There's a lot of AI on the map, and I really hate AI for 2 reasons. They clutter your map up, make you think that there's people around you that aren't actually there, and then there's the auto bleed. All of it is just annoying. I don't see the benefit of it. I'd rather have some more ground units. Everyone can kill those. I don't care if you like stock grinding, if you like killing AI for that, be my guest. I just don't like the plain AIs. But that's gonna be for another video. Right now we're just trying to close the gap. I know the P-29 just landed. I have a bit of an altitude advantage here, but that thing is very dangerous, and I don't really want to deal with it. The BF-109F-1 is one of those planes that is pretty good. Just checking really quick if he flies that thing a lot, if he's experienced, because if he is, he might pose a bit of a problem. 900 kills, we found ourselves a clubber. So I don't want to really engage him in a fair way, because he does have the advantage here, he does have the better plane in basically every regard. Especially at lower speed dogfights, that thing will absolutely UFO around me. So, we have a bit of altitude here, and I am going to be focusing the P-39. I don't want him to run back to the airfield, I don't want him to be scum, so I want to engage him. He's already turning back in, and he is going to get in AA range before I'm going to get the shot off. Bomber is going to go down, and now we have 3 enemies here. There's 1 teammate in the area, but I'm not gonna be sure how helpful he is going to be, because I don't know what kind of player he is. I see his plane, however, which is a J-20, And from that alone I can probably assess that he is not going to be doing much, and that's not throwing shade at him. That plane is just absolute horseshit. But down on ticket, so I have a little bit of time pressure here, so I want to be close to these guys, I want to kill them as quickly as I can, and I'm doing the thing I like doing, not taking the head on, going sideways, making him climb to me, and then once he's kind of stalled out, I will just pitch up down and blast his plane out of the air. I get hit by AA, and that's actually going to be very annoying, because late game that's going to be a little bit of a problem. Now I'm on the clock even more. I can't go back to the runway, I can't go back to land, because if I do that, then we will lose on tickets. So, P-39 goes head on with the J-20, blows him out of the air, and now I am forced to take the P-39 right here, right now, because that I-16, well, he's on the runway, I have an oil leak, so we are just gonna force the dogfight. We go head on, we dodge his guns, and the first thing I try to do is get position. He's a little bit faster than me, and he tries to go vertical here, which is what he should do. He should use that low speed power, but his lines aren't the greatest, so I can pull up over him. We are going to stall out here, and the one thing the BF-109 is very good at is those stall control inputs, because right now I flipped it over quite nicely, and we are going to go get on the 6, and I know what he's going to do. He's going to run straight to the airfield, so I'm going to dive out here, pretend I don't want to take the fight. He is instantly going to come back. Big mistake on his part, but thank you for not being an ass. Well, you actually kind of are, because you already ran to the base to begin with. Dodge the guns, roll up over him, and now he's again a little bit faster than me, so we're going to try to go as vertical as we can here to bleed a little bit of extra speed. He's going to try to get the shot here. He is not going to get it. So he just managed to get out of his guns. And now we are in a very good position. Because I'm on the 6, we are both very slow. And at this point, very little chance you're actually going to be dodging this. So, get some hits in. Start spraying the MGs, get a water leak. And now it's basically done deal, just securing the kill. Get a crit in. I don't want this guy to repair, because if he does, I lose the game. There we go. P-39 is down, and now I want to get away from here, because I want to engage the I-16. And engaging the I-16 in this kind of setup, he just took off. I don't have much ammo. It's all not a problem. The real problem here is he's next to AA. So I'm forced to first fly away from the AA, burn up my engine even more. I have an oil leak, and I'm really on the clock here. It's about to start overheating, so I really need to get away from the airfield and just engage in the most opportune time. And I might have done it a little bit badly, and I hope I can actually win this at this point, and there's a reason I put a second clip behind this game, because I don't want you to know if I actually win this one or not. It's a little bit predictable sometimes, and we don't want that here. So am I going to win versus an I-16 with an engine that's about to be burning up? And I just turned my engine off, so I'm just going to be gliding, cool my engine down just a little bit. Just glide, and I'm trying to get as much separation from the runway as possible, so that he can just turn around and dive towards it. Because right now, if he goes for the airfield, I can probably still catch him if I don't explode my engine in the process. So turn the engine back on, put it into a little bit of a climb, for the sole reason that I have a little bit of a starting ground, because I don't want to fight this guy if my engine burns up mid dogfight without any altitude to use. So I go into a little bit of a dive, pick up some speed, and the I-16 is one of those planes that it's very annoying to dogfight, but once you know how to, it's actually not that bad. It's a very well turning plane. The problem is it loses a lot of speed, and it doesn't really have the best engine. So we try to get out of the guns once. If I can do this 2 or 3 loops, he will just fall out of the air, but my engine just starts to take damage. And you can see that the lines that he's taking aren't the best in terms of the plane, because he's just not getting his guns on. And if I had more power here, I would end up above him. The problem is my engine is just taking a massive shit right now, and the tickets are going down, and I'm really hoping to just kill this guy. Right now, I'm just gonna keep whapping, trying to get the last bit of power out of it by going down, cutting inside of his loops, and we're gonna get the shot here, and we get a hit. We do hit the 20 mil, probably an orange or a red wingtip. We do a raid fight in the hope that he re-engages us. I go right underneath him. If he sticks, he is likely going to mess up his line. And he hits his prop on the ground. Perfect. And that's it. And that's game. And we won it. That's 7 kills with 1 ammo load. And we are gonna go right to the next game. I only did 2 games in this thing for a video. That's this one and the one prior. Because I have plenty of experience with that thing, so I'm not gonna push it to 100 kills. That's not what I'm gonna do at a low tier plane, especially with a BF-109. It's very straightforward. I know how to fly them. I don't need another 100 kills in a 2.7 plane. I don't have the patience for that. So we stall out the Key 61 kinda, or get him very slow rather. I'm still going 520. And at this point he's trying to loop. Not gonna happen. I have way too much power for that. So at this point he is finally stalled out. We hit him a few times and it still falls off. And now we're gonna look at something that's called me being overly aggressive, because the game is about to end. So I'm not really too worried about maybe getting crit, maybe getting damage, because I don't need to preserve my plane anymore, because we are going to win regardless. And I want to have a fun dogfight. So we go head on with the Spitfire. I have a lot more extra speed, so I just shoot a few MGs in the head on to kind of scare him off, so he doesn't actually stick it. We pull up over him, we pull back in, and this should have been the kill, but I only hit an MG. Poor shooting on my end. We go back into the vertical, and we are going to be making this guy as slow as we possibly can. He's gonna do it again. He's trying to cut underneath me, trying to make me overcommit. And he is bleeding some of my energy here, and I'm being a little bit too aggressive. But that's what's fun. I like being aggressive versus Spitfires. Unfortunately, mostly there's about 2 or 3 more. It's a start of the game, so it might cost me the game, and I don't want that. So now we just disengage for a little bit. I have a lot of energy. I'm just gonna put it into a little bit of a spiral climb here. I'm gonna go horizontal. I'm gonna be keeping my speed somewhat, and he's gonna try to pitch up for me. He's going to get 1 MG hit on my tail. If I had more time, I would have been a little bit more patient with that turn. If I had waited about 10 to 15 seconds longer and then done that, I probably wouldn't have gotten the shot whatsoever. But I'm on the clock here, and I want this guy to die as quickly as I can, so I'm gonna be a little bit too aggressive. And I'm gonna keep saying that because I don't want people to reenact exactly what I'm doing here. Right now I'm directly above this guy. I'm dropping my landing flaps, and he can pitch up for me. I just have too much energy on him, and there is very little he is going to be doing. At this point he's very slow. Get more hits in. I'm gonna rip off these flaps, which I'm not very much a fan of. Get some more hits in, and that's going to be a kill. There go my flaps, and 20 seconds left on the clock, so we gauge that perfectly, and that's going to be the end of the video. Sorry for the lack of prop content. I still have a lot of prop content on my hard drive, but I was covering the new jet, which is what I do after a patch. Now we can kind of go back to the usual, so I will start mixing it up a little bit again. And that's all I have for you today. See ya.